Go to any grocery store in America right now, stand in the dairy aisle, and pick up a carton of pasture-raised organic eggs. Look at the price tag. $5? $6? In some cities, $8 a carton. Now, do the math in your head. You buy 2 cartons a week. That is over $600 a year spent on something that comes out of a bird's backside. Naturally, your brain starts working. You look at your backyard. You look at that empty patch of grass near the fence line, and you think, wait a minute, why am I paying $8 a box to a factory farm when I could just buy 3 chickens, feed them scraps, and harvest free breakfast every single morning? It sounds like financial genius. It feels like you've unlocked a secret glitch in the American economy. Every single year, hundreds of thousands of suburban homeowners, homesteaders, and backyard hobbyists across the United States fall directly into this exact trap. They see the rising cost of groceries. They watch a few idealized social media clips of pristine coops with pastel-colored eggs resting on cedar shavings, and they buy into the ultimate modern myth that owning backyard chickens is an easy path to passive savings and homestead profit. Here is the cold, hard, unvarnished truth that nobody tells you at the agricultural feed store. For 99% of backyard keepers in America, owning chickens is not a profit center. It is an expensive, highly demanding, labor-intensive hobby masquerading as self-sufficiency. In this breakdown, we are stripping away the social media aesthetic to run the actual numbers. We are breaking down the hidden startup costs, the brutal ongoing feed math, the biological reality of egg production, and the exact threshold where raising poultry actually shifts from a money pit into a real, profitable business. Let's run the real-world accounting of bringing your very first egg home. When people decide to get chickens, they usually start by looking at the price of a baby chick. You walk into a farm supply store in the spring, and you see a bin full of peeping, fluffy day-old chicks. The price tag says $4 each. You think to yourself, $4? That's cheaper than a single carton of eggs. I'll take 4. You've spent $16. You feel like a financial mastermind. Then reality sets in. That $4 chick cannot live in your backyard. It has no adult feathers, cannot regulate its own body temperature. If you put it outside, it will be dead by morning. So step 1, you buy a brooder box. You buy a specialized heat lamp or an infrared heating plate to keep them at 95 degrees. You buy chick starter feed, specialized feeder troughs, waterers that won't drown them, and bags of pine shavings for bedding. Before your chicks have even grown their first adult feather, your $16 investment has quietly ballooned into $200. Now come the big numbers, the coop. A chicken needs a secure place to sleep, lay eggs, and hide from weather. More importantly, it needs a structure that can withstand American predators. Depending on where you live in the United States, your flock is targeted by raccoons that can open simple door latches, hawks that dive from the sky, possums, foxes, coyotes, snakes, and neighborhood dogs. If you buy a cheap, prefabricated wooden chicken coop online for $300, you will discover 2 things within 6 months. First, the thin plywood will rot the moment it rains. Second, a hungry raccoon will tear through the flimsy wire mesh like paper. To build or buy a secure, weatherproof, predator-proof coop, an enclosed run with proper hardware cloth, heavy-duty latches, elevated nesting boxes, and roosting bars, the average American homeowner spends anywhere from $800 to $2,000. Add in the initial setup supplies, and before you have harvested a single solitary egg, you are sitting on a sunk cost of at least $1,200. To break even on that initial setup cost alone, comparing your eggs to $4 supermarket cartons, your flock has to lay 300 cartons of eggs just to get you back to zero. And that is before you buy a single pound of food. Now let's talk about the ongoing operational costs, the feed engine. A chick does not lay an egg the day you bring it home. A standard layer hen takes between 18 and 24 weeks, nearly half a year, to reach sexual maturity and lay her very first egg. For 6 solid months, you are paying a daily feed bill, water bill, and bedding bill for birds that are producing absolutely zero return on investment. Once a hen starts laying, her body becomes a high-powered biological factory. To produce a single eggshell, her body requires immense amounts of protein, clean water, and calcium. She cannot survive on kitchen table scraps alone. Table scraps are a treat, not a complete diet. If you feed a chicken only vegetable peels and bread crusts, her egg production will stall, her shell quality will deteriorate, and her health will collapse. A standard layer hen consumes about a quarter pound of complete commercial layer feed every single day. That doesn't sound like much until you scale it up. For hens will eat roughly 30 pounds of feed every single month. If you buy standard commercial poultry feed, a 50-pound bag costs anywhere from $20 to $25. If you choose organic, non-GMO, or soy-free feed, which most people want if they are raising their own food, that same bag jumps to $35 or $40. That means you are spending roughly $20 to $30 a month just to keep 4 birds eating. Now, let's look at the production curve. A young hen in her prime, her first year of laying, will produce roughly 250 150 to nearly 300 eggs a year, depending on the breed. That sounds impressive, but biology has rules that no amount of human optimism can change. First, chickens are driven by daylight. A hen's pituitary gland requires roughly 14 to 16 hours of daylight to trigger egg production. As autumn approaches and the days shorten across the United States, your hens will naturally stop laying eggs entirely for 3 to 4 months during the winter unless you install artificial timer lighting in the coop. Second, every autumn, chickens go through a process called molting. They shed their old, dirty feathers and grow a completely new set of plumage to survive the winter. Growing feathers requires massive amounts of protein. During the molt, a hen's body diverts all its energy away from egg production and into feather growth. For 6 to 8 weeks, egg production drops to absolute zero. Yet, during the winter light strike and during the autumn molt, the birds keep eating. Their feed bill stays exactly the same, but your production drops off a cliff. Finally, there is biological depreciation. A hen's peak production happens in her first year. In year 2, her production drops by 15 to 20%. By year 3, it drops another 20%. By year 4 or 5, she may only lay 1 or 2 eggs a week. Yet, a chicken can easily live for 8 to 10 years. This is the central dilemma of the backyard flock. What do you do when your flock hits age 4? They are no longer laying enough eggs to cover their feed bill, but they are still consuming feed every single day. Unless you are willing to process your aging birds for meat, your egg operation officially converts into an expensive animal retirement home. There is another massive line item that almost no backyard chicken guide includes in their rosy financial projections: medical care and flock loss. Because chickens are prey animals, they hide illness until they are near death. And because poultry medicine is a niche field in suburban America, finding a licensed veterinarian who treats backyard chickens is exceptionally difficult. If you do find one, an office visit, diagnostic check, or simple prescription for an egg-bound hen or a case of respiratory infection will easily cost you $150 to $300. A single vet visit wipes out the equivalent value of 75 cartons of eggs in a single afternoon. Even if you manage medical issues yourself using farm store supplies, flocks are vulnerable to internal parasites, external mites, bumblefoot, impacted crops, and sudden predator strikes. If an urban raccoon or a neighborhood dog breaches your run, you can lose your entire flock and your entire laying capacity in under 10 minutes, resetting your investment clock back to zero. Then, there is the unquantified cost, your personal labor and lifestyle flexibility. Chickens require daily management. Every single day of the year, whether it is a freezing 40-degree winter morning or a 95-degree summer afternoon, someone has to physically go outside, open the coop, check the waterers to ensure they aren't frozen or contaminated, refill the feeders, collect the eggs, and clean the droppings. Every evening at dusk, someone has to physically lock the flock inside the secure coop to protect them from nocturnal predators. If you want to go on vacation for a weekend, you can no longer just lock your front door and leave. You have to hire a house sitter or a neighbor who understands how to handle livestock, secure coop doors, and manage poultry waterers. That added travel expense is a direct tax on your supposed egg savings. When you factor in your labor hours, electricity for winter water heaters, coop bedding, cleaning supplies, and lost flexibility, those free backyard eggs are actually costing you anywhere from $8 to $15 a dozen. So, does this mean owning chickens can never be profitable? Not necessarily. Poultry can be genuinely profitable, but only if you stop treating it like a backyard hobby and start operating it like a calculated, scaled agricultural enterprise. To shift the math from a loss to a profit in the United States, you have to break away from the suburban backyard model and execute specific, scaled business strategies. First, you must eliminate the scale bottleneck. For chickens will never be profitable because fixed costs, the coop, the waterers, the fencing, your time, are distributed across too few units of production. When you scale from 4 birds to 400 birds on pasture using mobile coops, your fixed cost per bird drops dramatically. Second, you must lower the feed bill through active management. Successful commercial operations use mobile coop structures, often called chicken tractors, that are moved across fresh pasture every single day. The chickens harvest a significant portion of their daily diet directly from the land in the form of bugs, worms, seeds, and fresh forage. This reduces commercial feed intake while dramatically improving egg yolk color and flavor profiles. Third, you must target high-value, direct-to-consumer niche markets. If you sell your eggs to a wholesale distributor or try to compete with commercial factory farms at $3 a dozen, you will go bankrupt. Commercial factory farms house hundreds of thousands of birds in automated, climate-controlled facilities where feed is bought by the trainload. You cannot compete with their efficiency. To make a profit, you must sell directly to the end consumer who is willing to pay a premium. You target local farmers markets, farm stands, high-end farm-to-table restaurants, and private subscription egg clubs where buyers actively seek out pasture-raised, non-GMO, locally produced eggs and are happy to pay $8 to $10 a dozen for them. Fourth, you you must diversify your revenue streams. A profitable poultry farm rarely relies on egg sales alone. They monetize every single stage of the chicken's life cycle. They sell day-old heritage breed chicks or started pullets, young hens right at the edge of laying age, to suburban hobbyists who want to bypass the brooding phase. A started pullet can easily sell for $25 to $35 per bird. They process and sell pasture-raised meat birds like Cornish crosses or Freedom Rangers, which grow to harvest weight in just 8 to 12 weeks, allowing for rapid capital turnover. They compost the high-nitrogen chicken manure combined with wood shavings, package it, and sell it to local gardeners as premium organic fertilizer. When you manage a flock at scale, rotate them on fresh pasture, sell directly to conscious consumers at premium prices, and monetize the offspring, the meat, the eggs, and the manure, poultry transforms from an expensive hobby into a legitimate, cash-flowing farm business. So, is owning a chicken really profitable? If you are a suburban homeowner looking at 4 chicks in a metal bin at the farm store, hoping to beat inflation and cut your weekly grocery bill by $20, no, absolutely not. You will spend more money on lumber, hardware cloth, pine shavings, layer pellets, and winter water heaters than you would spend at the grocery store in 5 years. You are not saving money. You are buying an engaging, demanding, highly rewarding outdoor hobby. And as a hobby, backyard chickens are fantastic. They convert yard bugs into fresh food. They provide rich compost for your garden. They teach children where food actually comes from, and they offer a tangible connection to the land that modern life rarely affords. There is a genuine, non-financial value in walking out to your own yard on a crisp morning and collecting fresh, warm, dark amber eggs for your family. But that value is emotional, educational, and experiential, not financial. However, if you own acreage, understand pasture management, scale your flock into the hundreds, lower your input costs through rotational grazing, and sell premium pasture-raised products directly to buyers who value local agriculture, yes, poultry can be remarkably profitable. The secret is knowing which game you are playing. If you want an enjoyable backyard hobby that yields the best tasting breakfast of your life, buy 4 chickens, build a solid coop, and enjoy every minute of it. Just don't call it an investment strategy. But if you want a profit, leave the 4-bird backyard coops behind, run the hard agricultural numbers, build for scale, and run it like a real business.